I got a confession to make. 9 times out of 10, whenever I receive loops, I don't listen to them. The second I get them, I delete them. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to use loops. And whether you're a beat maker or a loop maker who's sending out the loops, it's okay. Do what you gotta do. But as producers, we're artists. At least that's how I perceive us. We're not just employees of the rap game. We're not here to replicate and duplicate things that already exist. We're artists. And what artists do, they question the standard. They question the norm. They create waves. They're here to act against the norm in order to break boundaries. When it comes to music, producers are here to create a sound, create waves, to create genres. By you constantly spamming out your 4PF loops and Lil Baby type loops and Nardowig type loops, I don't want to hear it, personally. And now don't get me wrong, if you want to just stack your placements and just make as much money as you can and get out of here, that's fine. And I respect that, because that is a numbers game, unfortunately. But you gotta understand that if you want to stay here longer, and if you want to actually build a brand and become one of the greats, we all look up to Metro Boomin, Wheezy, Murder Beats, but I feel like none of us truly understand what it takes to become that. And I feel like we're just watching them and we're trying to follow in their footsteps, almost 95% of us, but we're playing a completely different ball game. We're missing the one ingredient that grabs your average producer and elevates them to a new level. And every single successful producer you can think of that has had a lifespan of over a year probably utilizes this ingredient, and that's relationship building. Because the thing is, if you're not able to build relationships and allow those relationships to shape you and your sound, you will never have the opportunity to create something that's heavily influenced by you and your creativity. And, we all replicate other styles we hear and we try to grab things from here and there. That's what makes us artists. But in the end of the day, if you're not able to establish yourself as an individual who has made music straight from the soul, who has influenced people, who has created waves, then I'm sorry to tell you, but your time in the music industry is probably going to be very limited. Because the thing is, if you want to do more of the business side of things, get placements, make as much money as you can, dude, I 100% respect that. But also, I think it's important for every single producer to sit back and think about which path they want to take. And personally, this is something I've struggled with a lot, because it's really hard seeing, as a producer, it's really hard seeing other producers winning through BeatStars or through other platforms, getting views, building their channels, and feeling like you're on the wrong path and that you also need to follow what they're doing in order to make money and whatnot. And I understand financial situations sometimes force you into taking certain paths, but I think this is a really important question that not a lot of people talk about, or at least when they talk about, they're not explicit about. Personally, I want to create a sound and I want to build relationships. I don't care about how many leases I can sell, or at least I don't care about them anymore. That's why my beat channel is pretty much dead. I don't upload there anymore, or at least I upload very rarely. Because I want to be an individual. I don't want to be an employee of the industry. I'm on here to create a brand. I'm on here to speak my mind and establish myself as more than just a beat maker who sends out loops or uses loops and makes a bunch of beats. One way I've realized you can accelerate this figuring out your sound and standing out procedure is to closely work with artists you care and you genuinely believe in. For example, I've recently been working closely with this artist called Tight, and we constantly text back and forth ideas and inspirations and how we're feeling. And through that back and forth, although it takes time, through that back and forth, you slowly start to create something new, because then it's two minds from completely different backgrounds and influences talking to each other and building something from the ground up. And don't get me wrong, it's still gonna sound like, you know, hip hop, and like you'll be able to point out influences in the sound, and that's okay, that's normal. That has to happen. You can't just come up with something that's 100% original that has never been done in music before. It has to start from an idea. But this opens doors for a lot of creativity, for a lot of new stuff, a lot of creation, a lot of questioning, a lot of breaking boundaries. Exactly what artists are supposed to do. So look, if you want to listen to a bunch of Lil Baby tracks and create a bunch of Lil Baby beats and sell those on BeatStars and make you a lot of money, sure. I just don't see how you can be an influential artist in this industry that survives longer than 6 months to a year. I just want to get on here and speak about that. Hope everyone's doing fine. I'm gonna start getting on here more and sharing my thoughts and ideas. But if you like what you see, make sure to subscribe, like, or go watch some more of my content. I'll see you next time.